Hi there, it's day 32 of our 40 days of intimacy with God. And today we're reading from Psalm 63. When you read Psalm 63, I'd like you to pay attention to the header that's in this, the bit that becomes before verse 1. The great thing about the Psalms is these headings that we get are actually from the original text. They're not been put in by an editor or someone who put this version of the Bible together. They're actually from the original text. And so it tells us that this Psalm 63 is a Psalm of David, but particularly that it was written when he was in the wilderness of Judah. And so what we see is that David wrote this when he was in a wilderness. He connects the hunger that he has and the thirsting that he's experiencing, and even the memories of what it used to be like when he was not in the wilderness. He connects those with his spiritual longings. He realises that this hunger that he's feeling is like the hunger that he has for God, and the thirsting that he has is like the thirsting that he has for God. And it gives us a bit of an insight into how we can use the very things that happen in our daily life and our natural lives and see some spiritual connection. Many people like to read autobiographies. It helps them kind of understand what was going on with that person, but how do they think? How did they, what were they thinking at the time, and how does their psyche work? Reading this Psalm 63 helps us step into a bit of the way that David thought, the way his thought processes worked. And maybe some of these words you might read and go, that's not me, that's not my confession. But I'd encourage you to read these Psalms. Read Psalm 63, read it out loud. Make it your confession, speak it, step into David's shoes. So, when he says things like, because your steadfast love is better than life, I don't know if you feel that or not, but say it, confess it. So it starts to sink into you. He says, when I remember you upon my bed and meditate on you in the watches of the night. I don't know whether you do put your head on the pillow and think about the Lord and think about the day you've had and how he's blessed you and what he's done in your life. Maybe you don't. Maybe you'll read this and start to think, well, that's something I can do when I go to sleep at night. He says, I earnestly seek you, my soul thirsts for you. And I pray that becomes our yearning, our longing. That's what we're trying to do in these 40 days, that we would seek God's face earnestly and that we would thirst for him and hunger for him. Well, I pray Psalm 63 blesses you, that it not just becomes something you read, but something that gets into your very spirit and becomes the words that you can confess. You have a great day.